Okay, how's everybody doing today? I hope this day finds you well. Oh, good morning. How's everybody doing? How's just looking at my forehead. Looks like it's getting bigger. I don't know how that's possible. I'm not getting like that old yet. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope today finds you well. Had a stormy day yesterday. We'll get to the weather forecast in a minute here. But nah, I was out there in it, just watching it for the first time in my life when the storming and the thundering thing happened. Yeah, it didn't bother me at all, actually. It just, I figured the good Lord wants you going anyway. So no sense in wondering about the storms because you can't stop them. But it just goes to show you the power of the good Lord. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. And as you rise and shine this morning, it is 72 degrees outside, but it's going to be a little cooler today than it was yesterday. Let's look at what the clouds say. Cloudy skies, a stray shower or two. Thunderstorm are possible today. High today around 76 degrees. Winds west northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. On tonight, partly cloudy, low 57 degrees, winds light and variable. On tomorrow, which is Friday, a mix of clouds and sun early, then becoming cloudy later in the day, high around 72 degrees, winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour northwest. Okay. But right now, as you rise and shine in the city of Montgomery, it is where there's a 20% chance of precipitation today. I thought we got it all yesterday. Again, it is 72 degrees. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, called affectionately known as Elkman. You can't call me right now, but the number's on the screen if you decide you want to disagree with me on something. But the name of this show is called Decisions. And we call it that because everything we do requires us to make one. And even when we don't make one, we just made one. So you see, you can't get around making them. Your life is the combination. Your life is the combination of all the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis. So do the best you can, make the right ones. You won't always get it right, but as long as you get more right than you get wrong, like the old baseball analogy, you're batting 1,000. Okay? So good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine, people. It's time to get up. It is believe it or not, the 7th day of May. I didn't even realize school's going to be out in a couple of weeks. 7th day of May, 2026. But more important than that, it is a great day, a fantastic day to be alive. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard of how you live life, you'll always be successful because you are never, ever a failure until you quit. We say give out if you must, rest if you can, but you never, ever give up because quitters will never, ever win. And winners, every once in a while they lose a thing or two. But you are never a failure. Never. Until you give up. Rest if you can, but never, ever give up. Because quitters, I can guarantee you this one. A quitter will never, ever win. But I can tell you there are winners that have failed, but they didn't give up. All right. So don't you do it. So no matter what happens to you this day, doesn't make much of a difference at all. It ain't what happens to you. It's how you handle it. So good morning to you. Handling your business. Let's get busy. Let's go to work.
We changed the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginnings to you and me, 'cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done.
And now it is time for our daily bread. It's how we get the day started, because we need a word from on high. All the things that plague our lives, and we need a place of comfort. And this is my contribution to that end. We'll be back.
Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals.
We are created in the image of a God who is loving and relational.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Amy Peterson. Amy writes, "But if God has no beginning and no end and has always existed, what was he doing before he created us? How did he spend his time?" Some precocious Sunday school student always asks this question when we talk about God's eternal nature. I used to respond that this was a bit of a mystery, but recently I learned that the Bible gives us an answer to this question. When Jesus prays to his Father in John 17, he says, "Father, you loved me before the creation of the world." This is God as revealed to us by Jesus. Before the world was ever created, God was a Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, all loving each other and being loved. When Jesus was baptized, God sent his Spirit in the form of a dove and said in Matthew 3, "This is my Son, whom I love." The most foundational aspect of God's identity is this outgoing, life-giving love. What a lovely and encouraging truth this is about our God. The mutual outgoing love expressed by each member of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, is key to understanding the nature of God. What was God doing before the beginning of time? What he always does. He was loving, because he is love.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Matthew chapter 3, verses 13 through 17. Then Jesus came from Galilee to the Jordan to be baptized by John. But John tried to deter him, saying, "I need to be baptized by you, and do you come to me?" Jesus replied, "Let it be so now. It is proper for us to do this to fulfill all righteousness." Then John consented. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. At that moment, heaven was opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased." That's today's scripture reading from Matthew chapter 3, verses 13 through 17.
Let's pray. Thank you for your overflowing, self-giving love to us, Lord. We experience that in Jesus, and you'll never take that away from us. Thank you, Lord. In his name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
motivated. Oh, already did that, didn't I? Already got that. Okay, we already did that one. We're good. We're good. We good. Anyway, first of all, let me thank the kids out there at Macmillan International Academy out there for providing me with that every morning. They that was a Veterans Day program latter part of last year, and they rendered the anthem to all the services, and they did a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, it sounds just as good as those guys out there on the military choirs or whatever they be singing, something like that. But anyway, sounds good. We appreciate them that they, hey, listen, we got to keep our people. We got to keep our people, our young folks, give them always to honor those people who make sure that their freedom is safeguarded. Although sometimes we wonder. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You don't have to do that for me. I mean, I'm good. I can do without that. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. Like me and everybody else. I've been thinking. I was thinking about this all day yesterday. Oh, what happened yesterday? Well, what happened yesterday is what I'm in the South. What happened was, okay, so Alabama Power yesterday was working on the trees and the stuff that's on the lines. I thought we put all that stuff underground nowadays. See, that's why Wind Lakes lights and stuff don't go out and stir. Their stuff is underground, I think, but ours is on top of the house, and every time the wind blows, but I must admit, you know, they did tell us beforehand, but I didn't get the message. So I mean, I get all those texts, and I be thinking that these are just spam things, or if it says Alabama Power on, I probably think it means time to pay the bill. But it didn't. They told me, but I didn't know that. So I'm sitting there running my mouth, thinking we got another hour to go, and all of a sudden, bam, there goes the light. So I'll say, okay. But I did finally get back into my Facebook page. Okay. It took me 3 days to get back in the Facebook page. Now let me give you guys a something right now that's going to help you when, not if, but when well, I'm gonna give you a couple of computer tips here. See, because I didn't realize this until I did it the other day. So my browser was sticking. I mean, every time I went to one page to another, it gave me a hiccup. So I decided, smart me, computer expert sort extraordinaire. Okay, I'm second tier tech support. Okay, so I clean all the cookies and I clean the cache and everything. Well, before you do that, let me just give you some free advice. Before you clean all your cache and clean all your cookies, make sure you know all your passwords and everything to everything you have. Because if you do not, and all your websites will be clean, all your websites that you normally visit will be clean, unless you got it in your favorites, it's gone until you figure out where it is later on. So before you, like I did, clean out your cache and your cookies, think about it for a little bit, okay? Think about it for a little, because it took me 3 days to get back in Facebook because of that, and I thought I was really smart. But anyway, finally got that done. Took me 3 days to get it back in, but I'm gonna give you guys a hint. Every Facebook person, every person who has a Facebook page, they have what's called codes to get back in your Facebook page. If you ever get locked out of it, they got codes. Now you can go to your settings and go to security, and then somewhere in there it says about how you can get the list of codes to get back into your Facebook page when you get locked out. Because when you get locked out, okay, it's hard to get back in. And some days it'll take you days to get back in. And if you're like me, you depend on Facebook page to do your stuff, then you might want to get the codes now. Okay, everybody's got a Facebook page, has codes. You want to go to the top, go to YouTube and type in, how do I get the codes for my Facebook page? And the best time to get those codes is now, before you get locked out of your Facebook page. Okay? I'm just telling you, you might want to do that. Okay, you might want to do that. So just go to YouTube and say, how to get my codes for my Facebook page if I'm locked out, and do it before you get locked out, because once you get locked out, going to YouTube won't really do you a whole lot of good, at least not in a tight. You'll be on it for 3 or 4 days like I was. So I'm giving you some free information. Okay. Simply Days, what's going on? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I don't know why. See, this is what happens when you do your clean your cache and everything. You got to start everything all over again. Okay, Simply Days, I got you now, I think. Okay, or maybe I don't. Okay, because he couldn't hear me. See, so anyway, so get those codes to your Facebook page. So when you, and don't be hesitant about clearing your cache and getting rid of your cookies. Okay. Because that's my problem. That's the problem I got. So it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get all these cookies back. Okay. So anyway, Simply Days left me. Reading is so important for operating a Facebook page. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is important. I agree with you. Reading is reading. Reading is fundamental. Good morning, Simply Days.
Good morning, Mayor. Is Facebook secure?
It's probably one of the most secure things I've ever had to deal with. so it's I mean, as far as somebody being able to get into your Facebook just on a whim, that's not going to happen. Even if they hack you, they still going to have a code or something that they got to send you in order for them to get in. So it's pretty secure, but it's not above a real pro. You know that I'm not a professional hacker, so I don't know, but it's pretty secure. It's pretty good. Don't put anyway. Who puts really sensitive stuff on Facebook page? I don't.
Some people put when they get up and take a crap in the morning on there, and they go all day long and put every move they make on there. I mean, I worked several cases where women put stuff on there and then it got hacked by their ex or their boyfriend or whatever and got sent all over the place. But anyway, did you and I know if you watch CNN or MS or the New York Times, you won't see this, but did you see where the gentleman in Texas was minding his own business with his family?
Mm-hmm.
And they pulled up in front of a convenience store. You can pull it up on one of the other sites, but he pulls up in front of a convenience store, gets out to go in, and this illegal alien who had already tried to carjack 2 other cars runs up to his vehicle with his family in there and tries to carjack it. Well, guess what the old citizen had on him?
Well, let me see if I can see what you finna do is put a hole in my desire to want to modify the Second Amendment. And I hear you. I don't have to think. I hope, and I guess if he didn't have it,
the citizen was carrying, and he was carrying a weapon, and he tried to struggle with the illegal immigrant to get him out of his car with his family,
right? And
that wasn't successful,
right.
So rather than plead for help, call 911. He took his weapon and he shot him 10 times.
Listen, it sucked to be him that day. You know,
well, he won't. You ought to pull the video up. You can pull it up.
Well,
and nobody tried to intervene for him. Nobody tried to come to his aid and help him. One lady got one of his children and ran with her. But now we won't have to have a trial. Now we won't have to deport this individual.
Yeah, I hear you, and listen. That's what it's for, to protect. I got no problem with people protecting themselves with their weapon. It's these idiots to walk around here shooting everybody because they got a bad day.
But you see, you won't hear about that, Mayor, on CNN because it doesn't fit the narrative. And like last year, there were almost 15,000 gun-related deaths in this country. And there were 25,000 non-fatal shootings. But of those 1,119 were deemed to be in self-defense, where some person had a gun and defended themselves. But so you won't hear about that because it doesn't fit the narrative that they're trying to sell you. And rather than waiting for 911, rather than sitting there screaming and hollering and watch this man drive off with his family, he did what the Constitution gives him the right to do. And oh, by the way, the police chief there said they're not going to be planning on filing any charges against him because it's not a blue city. But I guarantee you, if he would have done that in a blue city, just like the guy on the subway in New York, they'd be filing charges on him.
And I never have understood that if you quote unquote stand your ground to defend yourself, why is there even a question of getting charges filed against a citizen? I don't even, that doesn't make sense to me. That's, you know, out of all the rights you have, the first God-given right is self-preservation. So
yeah, and you don't give it, you don't give it up, even if you're a police officer. But this brave young black male was not shooting other black males. He was minding his own business with his family, and he decided to take action against the criminal.
well,
Hey, did you see where the judge did you see where the judge in D.C. apologized for the man?
now, see, you and I may have a little bit of listen, I understood where the judge was coming from on this one. When we become like the people that we hate, then what's the difference? You know,
The man said, Mayor, the man said that he expected to be killed.
well,
That meant he was going to be killed by the cops. So that there was a suicide ideation in his mind. Now, they're not denying him food, but see, what we've lost sight of in this country, Mayor, is that jail isn't supposed to be a country club or a spa.
no,
It's supposed to be there
right.
for a reason.
But
And it's like,
even our prisoners of war are treated with dignity and humaneness. And even if the guy, you know, and they trying to kill us. We know they're trying to kill us, and we trying to kill them. So we
tell me what dignity he was denied.
well, I didn't say we did not dignity. I'm just saying that we don't. When we become that which we hate, we're no better than that which we hate. So we should treat people. I mean, he did a crime. He did a bad thing. At least so that's what they say. And he needs to be punished for that if he did it. But we certainly don't need to be inhumane and beat him all up and stuff like that.
Nobody beat him up, Mayor. Nobody beat him up. They didn't do any of that. And that's the issue. If they would have beat him up, I'd agree with you 100%. They denied him food, I would agree with you 100%. But you know, it's like when I went to work with the police department, they had a rotation thing, and everybody had to work in the jail. And I worked in the jail, and I was watching the guy hand out the trays to the inmates. And one guy says, "Hey, I don't have a dessert on my tray." And the guy told him, he says, "Look, do you get a dessert at every meal at home? Well, you're not going to get one here." And then they had, you know, I used to ride downtown, and when I first went to work, they told me, I said, one of the perks of riding downtown is you get to go eat a meal at the jail. And the sergeant told me that, and I said, "Oh boy, that's free. You know, I don't have to pay for it." So I go up to the jail, and I told them what the sergeant told me, and they said, "Yeah, go back there in the galley and sit down. They'll bring you a tray." So they bring me this tray, and I look at it, and I said, "That must be meatloaf." And what I found out was they called it nut loaf, and it had carrots, biscuit mix, some kind of dairy product in it, and cabbage.
That's what they get to eat up there.
Well, back then, that's what they get. That was one of the meals. That was a lunch meal, and they called it meatloaf, but it sure didn't taste like meatloaf. But that was the meal for the lunch meal. But you know what? I didn't eat any more meals up in the jail, and I went to the sergeant. I said, "Sarge, I thought you said," he said, "you learned a valuable lesson, didn't you?" And I said, "What's that?" He said, "You don't want to eat in the jail anymore."
Yeah.
Well, see, when you give them what they want, when you give them a dessert, guess what?
Well, they want to keep coming back.
Thing.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. Okay then. That sounds
All
like
right, Mayor.
all right. Appreciate it. That sounds like
You have a good day.
Wait a minute. Do you know what I thought you was finna tell me that was? I thought you was finna
What?
tell me that the brothers went to the bathroom and rolled it up and fed it to you.
No, they said they had this breakfast, and I'm sure you've had it before, not in jail, but
Yeah.
you probably had it in the military, but it's called SOS.
Yeah. I used to make some of that, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They said they had that for breakfast,
Yeah,
but
well-
I never did indulge.
Well, this is.
I bet yours was better.
Yeah, this was actually the SOS. Oh, okay. I appreciate it. That's what it sounded like. SOS. Except it was wrapped up. Anyway, good morning to you. First of all, let me tell you about one of my sponsors. And my sponsor, of course, today is, I'll tell you about it all the time. It is One Stop Wireless and Bill Pay Center, which is located on 3445 Atlanta Highway in Montgomery, of course. It is a great place to do business. They have phones. But the nicest thing they can actually do for you, is take a telephone that you have, that you haven't paid for. It's in the, if you're like me, it's in the drawer, your Samsungs, your older Apple phones and things like that, because everybody wants to say you know it. They can take that phone and put you some service on that phone on their system, and it still works, not a problem, and the bill is going to be cheaper. They get anything from $35 to $45 a month for your internet, unlimited data, unlimited talk, so you can't beat it. Okay, you can take all the pictures you want, you can take all the talk you want, you can do all the kind of things you want. And again, they even got free phones. Now, the free phone is not one of those it's not one of those Apple 17s, but if you don't have a phone, it's a good deal, okay, that they give you. So you might want to give them a call at 320-2988, but 320-2988. Plus, they have this internet thing now that you can put in the car, you can put upstairs when you're on your way to vacation. I think it's from T-Mobile. On the way from their vacation, while you're doing your vacation this year, you can have instant internet in the car for the kids to keep them quiet. Do you know what it would have been like had we had internet back in 1968, where we was rolling down the road coming to Mississippi? Yeah, that's when we was coming to Mississippi. Yeah. And I only been there one time. I don't remember it, but I was in Mississippi one time in 1968. And had I known what a rotten place that was during that time, I'd have ran away from home rather than come down there. But Mama was from there. She was from Jackson, Mississippi. But don't you know how much better would that ride would have been if we would have had some internet in the car and a tablet? Hey, I'm just telling you, get one of these things from these guys. And again, it's $45 a month. You can't beat it. Take it anywhere with you. And you can use it for the house also. You don't have to just have to move in the car. You can put it in the house. So it's like wireless internet all over the place. Anyway, give them a call, 320-2988. I think I would have, if I'd have known then what I know now, I wouldn't have went to Mississippi. I couldn't. No. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about going to Mississippi recently, but I kept thinking, all I can remember is the images that I used to see on TV with Mississippi. I'm scared I might be going 2 miles over the speed limit down there, and they might hook a brother up, literally hook a brother up. And I said, well, I'm hoping it's not that way down there. The word Mississippi still gives me pause to question whether or not I want to go within that state. Of course, there are some parts of Alabama. Look, you think it's Mississippi, I think. Anyway, they call them sundown states, sundown towns around here. So I heard Coleman was a sundown town. That's where the former governor is up there. So I was coming through Coleman, coming back from Indiana, and I started to stop and say hello to Bob, but then somebody told me that it was sundown town, and it was getting late in the day, so I just thought I'd keep on down 65 and head toward Montgomery. So that's what I did. Okay, yeah, listen, I don't mind. I don't know trouble out of nobody. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now let's get on to a big deal this week. All this whining about voting. the districts. Let me ask the question. I just got to ask this one question. Who is getting help by all this whining? Honestly, who's getting help by all of this whining that people are doing? I mean, really, seriously, who's getting help? Okay, who is getting helped? Okay, that's all I want to know. Who's getting helped out of all this whining? Because the regular people are not. And you know, there are many things wrong with the state of Alabama, at least that our legislator could fix. One of those things is the traumatic conditions in our prison. You know, and I understand people go to prison. Most of the time they go to prison because they belong there. We don't have a problem with that. Most of the time we go, okay. But a lot of people there that don't belong there. But because they don't have proper representation and things of that nature, they get screwed, glued, and tattooed. Our education system is terrible. Our public school system is terrible. It's not terrible because of the teachers. Oh no. We seem to put things on teachers. It's not terrible for the teacher. It's terrible because of the policies. Okay, it's just terrible because of the policies. I don't know if Alabama is doing this, but I know education in America is trying to. For some reason, we are still trying to convince men and women that they can become something that they're not. Okay, we trying to convince them that there's something they can become something that they're not. From an educational standpoint, we're actually trying to make them think that they can actually turn themselves in from one gender to another. Okay. It said the YNs have made Montgomery a sundown town. Well, I can't really argue with that. I stay in. I don't go out at nighttime too often. But anyway, who's being helped by all the rigor and the public stances? Who's getting help? Because let me tell you what's going to happen here. After the 19th, and certainly after November, whatever day the election is on, that Tuesday, whatever day that is, this is going to be all forgotten. We're not going to be raising hell downtown. Where are these people when raising hell is necessary and they don't do it? Okay. So where are they? What do you mean? What happened to the state legislative building downtown? Okay, it can stop unfair practices. Well, I don't know what's unfair about what they're doing. I don't care. People can have been able to vote now for a long time. She called for a special, and again, I'm against this special session. This was crazy. And then this issue should be taken, and it's all for propaganda. They know, and I know, and you know, Ray Charles knows, he can't even see that nothing is going to change. They don't have the time. They don't have the time between now and the 19th to redo districts. They don't have the time. And if they do, they're going to mess things up worse than they already are. So this is something that should take place before the next election thing. So this is propaganda, okay? The governor is playing to her base. Everybody always says Trump is playing to his base. Well, the governor's playing to her base. Somebody may have called in a favor of her. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah, it's too early. I mean, it's too late. How many days we get? The 19th? 10, 12 days before an election, and you actually believe that you are going to undo redistricting between now and then before the next election? I mean, really? Do we really believe that? Of course not. Yes, Don.
Got bad news for you.
What's that?
You can't get to Mississippi without going over a bridge.
Oh, you can't? Well, I can. How big is the bridge?
I don't guess you'll be coming here, will you?
No. That's why I have never been to Florida.
Hey, why should I have to have 2 years of a Negro representing me?
Wait a minute,
You talking about fairness?
Say that again. Why should you have that what?
Why should I have to have 2 years of a Negro who's supposed to represent me, who doesn't represent me? We're talking about
what makes you
fairness,
think
right?
he doesn't? Yeah, but what makes you think he does not
He
represent
doesn't
you?
represent any value I got. He votes against everything Donald Trump represents. Name something he voted with the Republicans on. Give me one thing he's voted the Republicans with.
Well, I don't know.
Are you lost there?
No, I don't specifically know what
Don't
he's.
tell me somebody who had voted for one conservative thing represents me.
Well, it's
He don't
conservative.
represent me
Well,
in no
let me
way.
but let me ask something. It's conservatism. Is it the best policy?
For me, it is. What? I don't know what progressive is. What is progressive?
Well,
mean?
I don't know what progressive means either. But it's conservative.
No, yesterday I asked a question about what the honorable black mayor has done for Montgomery,
Mhm.
and Sweet Camilla said that Fairview Avenue was paved. Who paid Fairview Avenue? Where'd the money come from?
Well, it took him 30 years to get it done. So
Where did the money come from?
I would imagine it was part of that ARPA
It
program.
was part of the $36 million they put out for the Civil Rights Trail.
Mm-hmm.
And then they took it back because most of it had to do with, electric cars, charging stations. But Camilla, it wasn't the honorable black mayor that got money to pay Fairview Avenue. You know, it's still, somebody tell me one thing the black mayor has done for me. But
Well, let me ask
this
you
whole
something.
thing about fairness, it's not fair. It's not fair to make black districts.
But what has
I'm supposed to find something good about voting
Listen,
for a
I
black
agree with you.
person,
I
but a
agree with
black can't find anything good about voting for a white person. Is that the deal?
you. Well, let me take off a
Is
side.
that the deal?
Well, wait a minute.
I'm supposed to find something good about black people voting to vote for, but blacks ain't got to find a damn thing about white folks. Is that
Well,
fair?
And again, I think we're hypocritical when it comes
District,
to this.
do it way the Constitution of Alabama says by counties and populations when you can do it. That's what's
Right.
fair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm against this whole thing at the moment. I don't think that. I think it's a crazy, stupid thing to do. We are ran by a constitution. You know that. I know that. It's not
What
about.
Constitution?
It's not about. Well, the main
What
one.
Constitution tells us what the representation should be?
Right. So I.
Which
don't-
one? Which Constitution?
Neither one of them. Listen, this is a.
Yes, the Alabama Constitution says how the district should be drawn.
It don't say by color, does it?
No, it's against the law to do by color.
Well, exactly.
Where's the brown color? Where is theirs at?
Because what we're going to do,
How many color sections you want?
again, we're
Do the Asians get one? Hell, there's all kinds of Koreans. Montgomery ought to be a Korean one now.
I mean, we are doing exactly what we're
You're supposed to do it by numbers. You're supposed to do it by
Exactly.
locations. You ain't supposed to do it by race. That is prejudice. That is not legal under the Constitution.
Yeah. Well, it just amazes me that we went all to this trouble to tell everybody. What does it say on the State House building down? It's called e pluribus, whatever that how you pronounce that word. It means out of many, one. And what we're doing, we taking out of one.
I don't think that's on the State House in Alabama.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, it is. Trust me, it is.
It's on the money. But why would you say out of? I don't think it's on
Out of
there.
many, one. It's something close to that on the dollar bill too. But downtown at the State House, it is up there.
Where does it say blacks ought to have their own district?
It don't say that. But again,
Well, then don't do it. There's a constitution in the state of Alabama that tells how the districts ought to be formed.
but let me ask you a
Follow
question.
that.
Let me ask you a question. I don't agree with what they're doing now. I don't agree with all these gerrymandered.
Well, I don't
all
care
of
if you
these.
agree with it or not.
But
The
let
majority of Alabamans agree with it.
right. But let
We've
me
been
ask you.
put through this crap for years.
But let me ask you a question though. Why? how do we and this is the problem when we haven't
I
rectified.
tell you how we rectify it. How about let's rectify it like Florida did? You put a conservative black up that people support, and that's why they're going to have the next black governor in a red state, because he puts out stuff that whites support, that conservatives support. Don't make me vote for some black that won't even vote for one thing that I stand for. Name one thing. Have any of you black people call in today and tell me what Shamari Figures has voted for that's on the same thing that Republicans voted for?
Yeah. Well, I'll have to
tell him to call in one thing and then tell him he represents me.
Okay. All right. See, that's one of the reasons why we can't get. This is one of the reasons why we can't get beyond this, because we keep going back. I gotta give you a sobriquet. Let's see, we're gonna call this we're gonna call you, I gotta give you a nickname. What's your nickname, caller? Give me a nickname to give you.
Who you talking to me?
Yeah.
I have always used Miss Ann.
Okay.
All
right, Miss Ann. What's up?
Listen, tell Don, it's not our fault. He's had white representation for 250 years. We can't help he didn't get rich. He should have joined the MAGA club with the top echelon and become rich. And if his stocks that he claims he has or not has not, everyone with stocks they sell in the news this morning should be riding high with the Trumpster, because they soaring and they're not hurting like the real poor person. So he needs to start whining. Why is he whining? He had 250 years and they're going to celebrate it this year to be rich, to become rich. And no problems. He could live in the rich part of Montgomery and Greystone.
Greystone.
I went down to see your governor's new Capitol building.
Yes.
They just made the building. To see if it flooded like the old one did yesterday while they were in it. So see if she didn't never call back the special session, they wouldn't have had flooded cars. If I was the insurance company, I wouldn't pay. Because first thing I would say is, I didn't tell you to park there when you knew the building would flood. It's flooded before.
The new building?
That would be my way. The old building
that
they were in flooded.
Oh, yeah.
I went down to see this morning to see if the new one flooded, because they building it up on a hill, like, because they knew better to build it low, like the old one. So if I was the insurance company, I wouldn't pay a dime for none of them, because you shouldn't have come back.
Okay. Well, it was a total waste of time.
But we sorry. Us sorry. Since we get blamed for everything, us sorry he didn't become rich. But us don't care. And every time he talk about Stephen, we are gleeful and glad, because we know he's getting under his skin. Every day he whine about Stephen. And we are happy. But you have a great day.
Okay, then. But again, I'm just trying to figure out who does this. I don't think they get extra pay. They're making something over $60,000 now. So for a part-time job. So hopefully we're not paying them extra or we may be paying them per diem, but I don't think we paying them any more additional money to their salary that they're already getting for coming back. But I will say, who is it helping? I mean, there's so many other issues. Like Feria says here, healthcare is a big issue. It's a big issue. We ain't figured that one out yet. So the education is a big issue. The prison system, I mean, anybody who saw that YouTube presentation of how our prisons are being managed, are being run, should be everybody in Alabama should have been down there. Okay, we don't want to misuse people because they happen to be in prison, because everybody there don't belong there. Most people do, but not everybody. Okay, so we got so many things to worry about, And again, what is so difficult about this voting thing, we spent a lifetime, the last 250 years, trying to get a system together. Okay, the last 100 years, trying to get a system together that represents everyone, regardless of color, creed, or your financial situation in America. We've been trying to do that. Now we seem to be going backwards. Now that's what we are pinning our hopes on, is color. Okay, it's color. We trying to make voting districts by color. The same thing, that because it's not about philosophy. It's just not about philosophy, because Black folks are more in tune with the conservative philosophy than they are the quote unquote progressive philosophy. Most Black folks I know believe in going to church. Now they may raise hell when they get out of church, but they're going to church. Believe in going to church, believe in God. They believe in their kids getting a great education, not just going to school. Most Black folks believe that. Okay. So I don't know where this progressive crap came from. What did you say? Shamari Figures thinks Trump needs to go to Congress about the war, and he should. And he should. Well, the War Powers Act gives him 60 days. And I think we're past that 60 days thing now. I think he should go to Congress. The Constitution gives Congress the right to, like it happened in 1941, give Congress the right to declare war. We haven't declared war since World War II, and we've been in we never declared Vietnam a war. But when people are dying, they're coming back home in body bags. That's a war. That's a war. This is a war. I don't care what they call it. It's a war. So I think the president should be mandated to go to Congress and explain, because he's done a piss poor job of explaining why we there. And when the body bags start building up, coming back home, okay, it's going to be too late for the explanation to that family. Tell us why we're there. And most people may agree with him, but he needs to. Yeah, he needs to. He really needs to go to Congress on this. I think I'm with Shamari Figures on this. And if anybody who's a congressman, whether it's Adderhall or the other guys up there or in northern Alabama, they should feel the same thing. He should go to Congress. Okay. And live again. You have if one of them does it wrong, then that doesn't mean everybody should do wrong. Gary. That's our either we got a constitution or we do not, and we already know that initially that constitution didn't cover people of my color. I understand that. I don't live back there. I live in 2026, born in 1957, the year that Eisenhower was president of the United States. That's all I remember about 57. Well, I don't remember it about 57. That's what the history books tell me. So I'm going along with it. But he does need to live by the War Powers Act, and the War Powers Act said 60 days. And you now, unless he has done a private consultation with Congress, and of course, I'm sure that we are not privy to all of the things that go on in the White House. 521. Oh, it's 2963. My bad. 2963. Yeah, I see. Somebody should know when I ain't getting no more calls. Okay, well that's okay. I'll change that in a little bit here. But it's 2963. That's what it is. Now, this ain't the Don Show.
Well, you won't do much comments, but let me tell you, the War Powers Act, every president says it's unconstitutional, and not one of them's done it. Obama, Clinton. So you keep it up, it's unconstitutional, and it's not in the Constitution, and no president is abided by it.
Well, they certainly didn't abide by it with the what they did in World War II. But no, everybody's going to war. Then declare the war. If we're going to send our troops someplace, then declare it a war. Okay, stop talking about it's a police action. What's up, Top?
Good morning, Sergeant Elkins.
Good morning.
You fat fingered it this morning, didn't you? Your phone number.
Yeah, I got to change that. Yeah.
So my question is what's your thoughts about these states coming in redistricting districts outside of the 10-year census? That's normally been the process, because we realize population shifts, people move. So every 10 years, they would go in and, take a look at the districts because people leave.
Right.
But what's your thoughts about them going in because the president says, we're in trouble for the midterms, y'all need to find me votes? What's your thoughts on that?
That's terrible. I mean, honestly, we are disregarding the sacred laws of the Constitution. And I just, and what we're going to do now? The next guy who gets in and thinks that he gonna redistrict on the fly.
So and if they were going to do it, I think they shouldn't. Let me make that clear. But you see how Virginia and California did it? They put it to the people and say, what do y'all want to do? The people decided. But what Texas and Florida, where the governor willy-nilly just goes in and does what he wants to do, that takes the people out of it, right? So California did it, but Newsom put it before the people. And so did Virginia. They put it before the people. But what Alabama and Florida are doing, and Louisiana, Kevin, wrong is wrong if everybody is doing, and right is right if nobody is doing it. When will good people call out wrong?
Well, one of the was it Benjamin Franklin or one of them guys? We have given you a republic if you can keep it.
So did you see what the Attorney General stated though, Kevin? He said the quiet part out loud. Did you hear what he said?
Which thing did he say?
About Alabama is a conservative state, so they deserve conservative.
Yeah,
so he wants all the districts.
See, and that's not true. The Constitution and voting is not incumbent upon conservatism or progressivism or liberalism. It's about the people. It's got nothing to do with their philosophy, with personal party philosophies. That's not what this.
So you disagreeing? You disagreeing with the statement that's attributed to him?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's not why our young men and women are getting maimed and tore up and killed for conservatism or liberalism. It's for the right of each individual to decide when he goes in that voting booth what he wants.
And so if the citizens file a lawsuit and ask for an injunction and we move forward with this, doesn't that make the whole process kind of muddy? Because even though there's, we had pre-clearance and Shelby and all of that, we're just doing away with everything and says that this guy says, I need to find votes before November. Y'all make it happen. Isn't that troubling?
Yeah, that is troubling. And again, that's the what's the old theory? If the dike gets a hole in it, then at some point the water's coming in.
So the last thing I'm going to ask you, sir, is one of your heroes from listening to you through the years is Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
Do you think Reagan would be able to be elected with this current climate of Republicans?
Well, if Trump got in, I would imagine Ronald Reagan get in. But I don't think Ronald Reagan was about Americanism,
right?
And what it really means. And I just don't think these people up there now care much about that Constitution. So I don't know. It'll be a tough one. I'd like to see Ronnie come back and do it and see if he can win this one.
So I just want to make sure I heard what you said. You say this current Republicans don't care much about the Constitution. Is that what you said?
They couldn't, because they would not be for this. Let's redistrict on the fly. That's just not.
What about paying this ballroom that was going to be paid by donations, and then it was going to be $200 million, then it was going to be $400 million. Now we're paying $1 billion of taxpayers' money for a ballroom, but we don't have any money for subsidies for healthcare.
Wait a minute.
We don't have any monies for rural hospitals, but we can pay $1 billion.
Yeah, who came up
for a ballroom?
The price going up that quick?
Yeah, it's $1 billion now that they're asking the legislature for. Thanks for taking the call, my friend.
Yeah, that's a crock too. Well, here's my good friend. Wait a minute. This is my good friend right here, Mr. My main man, the former councilman for the city of Montgomery, until the folks over there became ignorant and thought that a party label meant more than getting something done. And that's my good friend, William Green. Good morning, William.
What's up, man? What's up? I'm out here walking in the rain, man. I hope you appreciate it.
Well, you're Marine. You're Marine. You can handle it. That ain't no problem.
Yeah. I remember in the Marine Corps, they wouldn't, we couldn't carry an umbrella. So I feel like I'm, being disloyal if I ever use an umbrella.
Well, you know what? The Army didn't play that. At least when I joined, they didn't play that holding umbrella thing either. Maybe the general had somebody holding an umbrella for him, but we wasn't holding an umbrella. Yeah.
We don't do umbrellas, man. Real men don't use umbrellas.
No, we don't. Like real men, don't drink with straws when they drink their soda.
There you go. See, there you go.
Yeah.
And you still an honorary Marine as far as I'm concerned.
So what's going on, William? What do you think about all this mess?
Well, look, bottom line is that, I heard you touch on the map and you saying it's unconstitutional. The truth is that the map had been drawn before. And I remember it was a while back, almost over a year ago, because I was one of the ones that was there to testify for the fact that we didn't need to draw maps based off race. And as a result, it got challenged. And then I think the state of Alabama decided not to join the lawsuit of Louisiana, and that they were going to wait for that to come out. So I do think it is constitutional. It's just, the way it's going about. It looks. Hold on. It looks like that it was like, a knee jerk, but this thing been going on for almost 2 years now. So it's a long process. It's not something that they just thought of. It's just that once that decision came, it looks like it was rushed. But we've been at this thing for about 2 years. Also, on that note, states like California, New York, all these states that have high density black areas do not have any black drawn districts at all. In other words,
where in the Constitution does it say do it by color?
Now, here's what I'm saying. The Voting Rights Act said that you're not supposed to draw districts based off race. Now, that includes all races. It didn't say based off white race, right? So now, according to the Voting Rights Act, it was being violated, but nobody said anything because what I call reverse racism is acceptable. So it got challenged, and that's the reason why it got knocked down. What it is, the Voting Rights Act is now being followed. You cannot draw any district based off race, and that's the issue. They were drawing it based off black race. Mm-hmm. And that's why, because if you're going to follow the letter of the law, and that's why I went to the Supreme Court, they said you cannot draw districts based off race. I remember being down there in Alabama when we were looking at the whole thing. Their argument was that they had to draw it based off race because it was accepted and it was just a misapplication of the law. So that's how I see it. I mean, if you just want to look at it from that standpoint, either you can draw it based off race, and then white people can go in and say, okay, if you're going to draw it based off black race, then we can draw it based off white, Asian, or whatever the case may be. It's not just black and white, it's every race. So, and now you're going to have gerrymandering for every race. Mm-hmm. Because now what if the Asians sue and say, we don't have a district, so now you got to draw some real crazy looking district just to get a bunch of Asians. Then what about the Indians? Then once you start there, what about Muslims? What if they come in and say, we want to draw it too? Where does it stop? Plus you only see this happening in the South. Nobody was complaining about it over in California, where you got places like Compton and all of that, where high areas of dense black people, but nobody says anything because the truth of the matter is, it's not about race. It's about ideology or party. They're not telling you that, because if it was about race, they would be in California and New York with all those black areas and saying we need a black district. And ain't nobody's complaining because they're getting the result. The result is they want Democrat districts in a highly red, nearly 70% red state. So they only enforce it in states where they can get blue districts. But when they already got a blue district, they don't say anything because it's about what they vote. Why black people are not up in California, New York, and all those other states and complaining about the black. No, they down in the South in red states trying to get blue districts. They got some states, man, where they got as high as 45%. Now I'm not looking at it. They got about 45% Republican voters in the states. They have 0 Republican districts. So look, it's been going on. Only difference is that now it's been challenged, and I think the right decision became, because either we can draw by race or we can't draw by race. Because if it was the other way around, and they were drawing gerrymandering the races up here, gerrymandering the districts in Alabama to get nothing but white people, then everybody be upset.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now, I don't like the race thing. I don't like the race thing, but that's true. I don't, because again, that makes us no better than they used to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, at some point we got to stop. Either racism is bad or it isn't. And if it's bad, then we shouldn't ourselves now say, okay, let's get them back. I remember I was once on your show a long time ago, and I said something. I'm not going to repeat it now, but it still holds true. You know, that we have to, we can't become the thing that we hate. If we hate racism and then we thinking we're going to return racism in return, then is it really bad, or do we really think it's bad? The Bible says this: do not return evil for evil. I will repay, saith the Lord. It's not up to us. If racism is evil and we're saying we're going to return it to them, then that's biblically not sound, right? And I see a lot of people call themselves preachers running around here saying we're mad because we can't now discriminate against white people. Now, once again, I don't. The one thing I've learned at my old age is that don't discount the feelings that I understand that people have is real. They believe that now they will not have, that their vote is going to be taken away. No, you can vote. I think this is a good opportunity. I think right now, you may, if you can make your case in those districts, then that district that appears to be Republican now, you can get people to flip. So if you do believe that, and so I see black people we're going to still vote. Nobody's going to tell them to stay away because it's not guaranteed. I remember when Doug Jones won. Remember, I think I got his name. That judge was running, and this is 60, almost 70% red state. But Doug Jones won because Doug Jones made his case better, or the other guy was not as qualified. You remember that time it was a special election and Doug Jones won, a Democrat, right? Mm-hmm. And Judge Roy Moore. So everybody thought he was going to win, but then his past came up. You know how they did a smear campaign, then he made some missteps, one of which riding a horse. It was all sorts of things that he messed up, and then Doug Jones won. Doug Jones is again running for governor, right, in a red state. That is your right. Nobody's taking your vote away. So if you want to stay Democrat, go to the polls and vote and turn out. Who knows? You still can get your people. Now, on the other end, the flip side, and here's my thing, Kevin, and hear me out. Black people have been voting Democrat for 70 years, right?
Yep.
If you go look at any trajectory, any metric, education, jobs, family, everything you look at, it's been a steady decline over the last 60, 70 years. And what have they had over those 60, 70 years? Nearly 100% Democrat leaders, right? So 70 years later, look at Montgomery. Montgomery, I was born and raised here. Montgomery is bad, and it's getting worse. Nobody won't see nothing. And who's the leadership? Democrat. Now you have an opportunity. Don't look at it the other way. You have an opportunity now to maybe vote for some Republican leadership. If you want to have any say-so in it, then you look at the Republican ticket, and you get to choose and go. So black people now, people are going to start going into the black community. Republicans are going to start going into the black community to try to get their support because they can sway the election. Yeah, it's going to be a Republican, but we can choose which Republican. whether he's more liberal, or you might see Republicans now in the state of Alabama trying to move a little bit further to the left.
Okay, he must be out of range of his internet.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Okay, you're back. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm close to the building, and but anyway, the point is, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity now to have people to take a black vote serious, and you got people on both sides that's now going to come out there and start trying to get the vote, because right now, as it's drawn, the Democrats are taking the black vote for granted, as well as the Republicans don't see any chance of winning. I remember when I ran for state senate, District 26, they told me to run as a Democrat because Republicans don't have a chance based off the way it's drawn. So, I mean, it's an opportunity. I see this as an opportunity. And think about this for a minute. When the last time you saw Tashina Morris?
I think when she downtown yesterday, I believe at the El Ridge Hill downtown.
Yeah. I'm talking about outside of that protest.
Don't see her very much.
Nobody's seen. You don't see her. You don't hear her name. She ain't sponsoring any freaking legislation. She's not on TV, radio, nowhere. She doesn't do anything. You got crime running around here.
They go on Roscoe. She goes on Roscoe every once in a while.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is what is she doing? Then what about Kurt Hatcher?
Well, what are any of them doing except coming out with this propaganda about? I hadn't seen. I forgot Kurt Hatcher was even down there.
That's the point. The point is that's typical Democrat Democrat representation. They don't have to do anything, and they know they don't have to do anything, and they didn't come it. Tashina Morris is gonna be there to the day she died. They're just not. That's what I'm saying. So now, if you redraw it, they don't have a guaranteed seat. They don't have a guaranteed district. And now they got to go out and actually do something. Imagine you get a Republican in office like me, right? You know how I do. I'm going to be on the radio all the time. I'm going to be at every freaking meeting. I'm going to work hard, right? Yeah. Because I cared about the community. But what I'm saying is that's an opportunity. We're looking at it the wrong way. Okay, look, Democrat, I'm going to vote Democrat. But let's let people work for our vote now. That's what I'm saying.
Let me grab this call. Who's this?
Go ahead.
Hello. That's you,
Kevin. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
Kevin, I've sat back and listened to a lot of this, and we're kind of way off topic here, but let's just kind of get back on some simplicity. We want to talk about Kurt Hatcher. Let's dial back in time right now to 2020. We're in the midst of COVID, 2019, 2020. Mm-hmm. Kurt Hatcher was the House of Representatives at that time, who then went out and basically because we had a Senator Burkett who had taken ill. Right. So when Montgomery County Public Schools needed someone to go before and actively legislate on our behalf to get the ad valorem tax that has increased. We got new schools coming. We got new structures being built, repairs going on. That was Kurt Hatcher who did that as a House of Representatives. And because Senator Burkett was out sick, he also had to go in and double duty as a senator when he wasn't a senator. So if we're going to talk about what these representatives are doing, let's not have naive history. Let's make sure we're speaking factual history about what these people are down there doing. I don't care if I don't see Kurt Hatcher at the barbershop or in the community. I send him down there to do a job. As far as I'm concerned, when I'm looking at the revenue alone, which is about $31 million a year that has come into Montgomery County Public Schools, I got to look at the representative who helped us get that done. When I think about Representative Hassel, Kenyatta Hassel, we've got a whole new inland port that's coming in over there on West Montgomery. Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, that was Representative Hassel's signature on getting that bill in and getting that stuff done. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to talk about what they're doing and what they're not doing, I'm okay with that, but let's make sure we're factual. We want to talk about Mayor Stephen Reed. Last time I checked, under his tenure, the city of Montgomery, Alabama, has been ranked in the either 1, 2, or 3 in new job growth for the last, under his tenure. We've just announced, we had a ribbon cutting for an international beverage company that located here. Right. We've got new Hyundais, and many of our major manufacturers are expanding. These aren't made up facts. These are realities.
Mhm.
Do we still have a lot of issues that we're dealing with here in Montgomery? Absolutely. Absolutely. Can we use some help on some things? Public education, public safety? Absolutely. But we got to acknowledge what they have done, where the wins have come in. Now, as far as this whole districting redrawing map, hey, we all understand life in America says to the winner goes the spoils. You don't like what they're doing, we got to get out and vote and make some changes. I'm not happy about it, but we're not going to pretend as if things aren't what they are. Congressman Sewell, whose district she represents, that district for years split Montgomery, where half of Montgomery, primarily West and North Montgomery, went towards her, and East Montgomery went towards Congressman Rogers, who's over in Auburn. These are facts. When we talk about the county, talk about the state constitutions and keeping the county whole, that hasn't been the case. Montgomery County and Jefferson County has been split religiously along the areas and corridors in which the race sits in the county. So when we're going to speak on these things, and I consider my daughter played volleyball with Mr. Green and his daughter many years ago, and he's a good guy. But let's make sure we're sticking to the facts of what matters are. The race that he's talking about, the lawsuit that he was a part of that went on for 2 years, well, it didn't just start 2 years ago. That's a similar lawsuit that ended up giving us the district that Congressman Sewell sits in and has been sitting in. So again, these aren't new things. And I know you're not a fan of history, as Mr. Reed likes to remind you of, but these aren't new battles that we're facing. These are challenges that are presenting themselves over and over again because whenever who gets in power, they like to do things their way. So again, I'm upset about what's happening right now, us jumping in the middle, especially when we just came out and we got a lawsuit, because now there's a Birmingham attorney, former Judge Clemens, just filed a lawsuit because he said, hey, we had an agreement that this would not even be challenged until after redistricting. But again, this is the state of Alabama. We do what we want to do and don't care. So that's the reason why we keep finding ourselves back in court over and over and over again, wasting taxpayers' money over and over and over again because we keep putting in laws and decisions on the books that basically don't line up with federal laws and mandates. So we're this conservative state, great. But every time I look, we're complaining about what federal things that are coming down and mandates, but we're not paying into it. That's the money that's coming from those progressive states like California and so on and so on that are paying all of this major money into the federal government that Montgomery just goes and pulls down, that Alabama just goes and pulls down. So if we're going to talk about things that are being done, let's stick to what is actually being done.
And I appreciate your input. Hey, appreciate it. You agree with the caller?
Oh, yeah. I agree with him. I think what I'm saying is I just say they don't do anything. I mean, I remember I ran against Kurt Hatcher. One of the reasons why I lost was because I spoke to some even Republicans that was donating to his campaign. And they was like, well, no, he's doing a lot with education. So I never said Kurt Hatcher. I just saying, what I'm saying is you don't see them as much out in the community. And I understand they got to work it because I did it when I was city councilman. There are a lot of things you do internally. But at the same time, you have to be present other than you see, like you say, you see Sheena Morris standing up there doing a protest. I mean, they'll show up for protest and then you see them for election. But you serve the people and you can't just stay up in the office all the time. At some point, you got to touch the people. And I understand, some people don't need that. But nevertheless, when I was out in the community, I learned more about the needs of the community and everything that was needed by going out and talking to the people. I remember, I'm not going to call his name because he's no longer with us, but I was saying, hey, don't you care what the people think? Don't you want to talk to the people? And he was saying, they don't know anything, and I don't care what they think. I know everything. And unfortunately, a lot of politicians, that's how they operate. But yeah, he's right. Kurt Hatcher has done a lot of good work. Some of the things I disagree with him because of his, he's a liberal, I'm a conservative. But other than that, in terms of being out and seeing them, no, unless you pass them in a restaurant or something in a gym, you're not going to see them. They're not coming out when somebody gets shot or, things happen. Crime is very bad. I would like to hear the position of those state representatives. Other than the only person you heard talking about it was Will Barfoot. right? So I haven't. Okay, you don't want to do what Will is doing. What can you do at the state level, Montgomery, in order to maybe hire more police officers? What are you doing for that? I know they're doing things for education because I think that's his background. But right now, we need state level help to do something about this crime, or at least work with Reed on that. Reed probably would be more receptive if it was more maybe a Democrat at the state level talking with him to try to work with him to get some things done. But instead, it was Republicans, it's Tuberville, it's everybody else, and he's less receptive. But if you care about crime, why not work with Tuberville or Will Barfoot to try to say, hey, let's do something, because my people in my district are suffering, and I hear what they're saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, the point is, the representation that I think the black people we have gotten from Democrats has been, been dismal. Because if you look at it, they come to us during the election, and then after the election, they put everybody in front of us. They put the illegals. Look how hard they've been going for illegals, right? I've never seen them go that hard for the black community, because they know they have the black community. And I heard a lot of people say that if a certain percentage of black people started considering Republicans, even the Democrats will work harder for us. Then they won't take us for granted. So I think it's a good thing. We need to look at the opportunity. But that caller was very articulate, and I agree with a lot of what he's saying. And I'm not saying that they don't do anything. Tashina Morris may be doing something. I'm just asking the question.
The problem is, though, right. The problem is it's power perceived as power achieved. If we don't know anything about it, then they didn't do it.
Yeah, well, like I said, me, I was on the radio every 5 minutes. I was everywhere. And then when I got ready to run for office, I had people standing out there saying, man, I ain't seen you. You don't do anything. So it's possible they could be doing stuff. And I just maybe I haven't seen it. But that's the question. It's not just her. I just mentioned her name because I know her very well. But I'm just saying, Democrats in general, when you have all that representation, why are they not fighting hard? It's not just the city council job. It's not just the mayor job. It's the level at the county, and it's the level at the state. Why not everybody work together to make Montgomery good?
And here's my issue. When there's a hot issue like this, redistricting, we hear from them. Why can't they make other issues as conspicuous as they making this one? Because this one gets you some political props.
Yep, at least crime.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, what's going on with crime. You know what I'm saying? Even doing that crime thing, I saw Reed, I saw other people, but I didn't. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe they were out there saying that crime wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know the people are saying it.
Yeah. Well, let me get some of these calls in, man. I'm gonna let you go to work, whatever it is you're doing this time of morning. But you got to come by when you got a whole bunch of time to talk.
Hey, well, I'm out. I'm doing some things, man. So I might be a little bit more free, able to get up and get out. But yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. Tell all the callers I say hello. I know I probably made a lot of them mad, but hey, it's what I do.
They get over it. They get over it. Appreciate it. Let me see who this is. Yeah, Duke.
Man, Mr. Green still on your show?
No.
See, I had a feeling you didn't want me to talk to him. See, I had a few questions.
They listening, but I only got one line, so I just have to,
Mr. Green, if you're listening, sir, for the last 20 plus years, Republican been over the state of Alabama, sir, and what have they gotten
and
done?
For 149 years, it was Democrats.
No, I'm talking about no. See, you trying to get on the bandwagon with that too, Kevin. No. What I'm saying now, he keep telling us that the Democrats not doing anything. They're not even in the damn office. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, sir, like I asked you, Kevin, the southern states, Mississippi, all these southern states, Alabama, you look at the move with Mississippi burning, where the southern states don't want to follow the law. For its voting, they beat the hell out of blacks. They caught you looking at a voting booth. So
they're not doing that now. They're not doing that now.
No. What I'm saying, it all started from somewhere. They just didn't pop up and say we got down in the South. We're gonna do it differently. They had to do it. It was done by force because the white folks was misbehaving down here real badly. So some of these same feelings are in the air now. Okay, so. Don't sit here and tell us that when you got the Attorney General telling us this is a what they call it, conservative state or whatever, Kevin.
Well, it is for the most part. It is.
So what he's saying is we want to do what the hell we want to do, like we used to do back in the old days, sir. That's what the hell he's trying to tell you in so many words. Okay. We gonna run things like we used to. Y'all can send the government down. Y'all can send the.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay. I don't know if they all think that, but I hear what you're saying. The number here is 5. What's the number here? 521-2963 is the number here. If you think you have something to add to this conversation this morning, I think William was partially right, and like all of us, we're partially right and partially wrong. Here's what we say. Here's what we mean when we say that politician's not doing much, that other politician not doing much. He's not doing much that we know about, okay? And the only way we know about it is that they get on one of these platforms and they tell us about it. They tell us what they're doing. Because if we don't hear about it, it didn't get done, okay? And COVID was back in 2020, okay? It's almost 2027 now. Okay, so that's been a minute. We're giving you props for what happened then, but when we say you're not doing anything, well, we haven't heard of you doing anything. But guess who we heard the last couple of days from? Everybody. Everybody we've heard the last couple of days from. Okay, so they can get out there when it's important for them. Yeah, Don.
No, next week's my 76th birthday, May 14th.
Well, happy birthday.
When I listen to Duke, I turn and I say, thank God for me not losing my mind. I appreciate that, God. That Duke makes me appreciate that. Hey, is anything stopping Willie Durham from moving to Missouri?
I don't know.
Willie, you can move to Missouri. Told me you can.
I used to live there, but it's cold.
Yeah, but since that ad valorem tax, he brought up the ad valorem tax. How's those school test scores improved?
Well, now you got a point there.
Who runs the system? Negroes run the school system. I believe you could put all the money in the world on it, and it'd still be the same thing.
But they do go by the rules that they don't make up themselves.
What rules?
The no paddling, no discipline. That doesn't come from the teacher.
You're saying Negroes? That's BS.
That don't come from the teacher. That comes from the head.
They can do it with parents' permission, but they ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it because they know the mother go there trying to.
What the law says, the law doesn't say.
Come on, you know how black folk act.
I know black folks act, but
my daughter went out to a Mexican restaurant the other night. She said, "Dad, I can't believe this. 3 black women came in. They got upset because they didn't have glasses for drinks. They demanded everything from the waitress, and I saw their meals. They didn't give them $1 cent tip. What's up with black start tipping?"
Well, I don't think you deserve a tip unless you do something to deserve it.
Well, blacks don't think they ever deserve a tip.
Well, I don't know. I tip when I think the guy, as long as I'm not ignoring that.
Hey, I don't want to mess up. Is Camilla Miss Haynes? Or does she have a different alias?
I don't know.
Well, which one's Miss Haynes?
They twins. I don't know which one it is.
My God, there can't be 2 people who look like that.
They twin sisters.
God wouldn't have been. She's religious. I know God wouldn't have punished us with having 2 people looking like that.
Well, let's not get on. Let's not have.
God's a good God. He wouldn't have done that to us.
I mean, neither one. You or I both ain't exactly finna get on the color of glamour. Anyway, appreciate it. Moving on to other things. What, Kevin and Don have the same what? Let me see. What does that say? We might be twin had the same birthday. Well, my birthday is on the 16th, so I'm not. His is on the 14th. But that's good. Moving right along to other things. Let's see. A major Supreme Court. We already got that done. And again, when we say your politician not doing anything, we need to add something to that because everybody does something. But they're not doing anything that has been brought to the public. I don't have time in the daytime when they're in session to see what everybody's doing. Can't understand most of the writing on the bills anyway. We ought to have a law where you have to write a bill in plain English. and then we can understand what's going on. But it's a bunch of lawyers down there. They make it where we cannot comprehend, not because we're ignorant, but because they do it on purpose, so we don't understand the legalese and the legal talk and all that stuff. Matter of fact, I hear somebody the other day say we're going to get a marijuana, we're supposed to be getting a marijuana something in the city of Montgomery, I believe. We're supposed to be, what do you call that? Whatever that thing is that we're supposed to be getting. Finally, after 10 years, I think we're going to get one. What do they call that thing? What is that? It ain't called marijuana. It's called, what's it called? What is that derivative that's taken from marijuana that helps people? I guess, what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but because I don't smoke it. Maybe I need to smoke it. My memory would be better. What is that they're doing? Cannabis. That's what they're doing. So hopefully we'll get one, and people can use part of that, I guess. Prevagen for his birthday. I don't know what Prevagen does, but I would imagine it does something. The MPS District State Report increased from 67D to a current what? I don't know what he said. The MPS District increased from a D to a C. Well, Dwayne, when you lower the standards, what does that mean? I mean, seriously, when they've lowered the standards and they have a different way now of grading things, are we really moving up at all? And that's something, and I got that from, as a matter of fact, next week sometime, I'm supposed to have 2 members of the school board on. So we're going to talk to them. But it seems that we are reinterpreting the information that we're restructuring the information that we're getting from our public schools to try to make us seem like we're doing better than what we are. And again, I don't blame the teachers for that. Teachers go to school to teach. They don't really care who's in the class unless he's a butthole and he's disrupting the process. But they don't care who's in the class. They don't care where you're from. Now you got to be able to speak a little English though, because this is America. Now, when we change the sign outside the window here, it says it's some other country, then I guess we'll have to learn that language too. But we're making our teachers have to do lots of things that they shouldn't have to do. Their job is to go there and teach. Now, teaching, of course, involves more than ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. I understand that part, but that's their basic job: is the 1, 2, 3s and the ABCs. Teach you how to do read, write, and do arithmetic. Okay, that's what we want them to do. Okay, so that D going to a C. Well, I need to find out, first of all, if it's a real C. Okay, is it a real C or not? Medical marijuana, that's right, medical marijuana, they're doing it. Yeah, I think we're getting a cannabis store here. Now, I don't know if that includes medical marijuana or not. Okay, I don't know. Let's see, Joe says, Don can't remember all the good things and improvements in Montgomery. Well, and again, we kind of, so you're working tomorrow. Oh, no. See, I didn't do that yesterday. I did come on yesterday. I came on at 12. I came back and did the last hour. So you go to YouTube, you can find it. So I did come back on yesterday, but it was at around 12 o'clock or something like that, or 12 to 1 or something like that. Let me see now. So go to YouTube, you can find it. THC, thank you very much, Gary. But anyway, so evidently we are going to have a cannabis place here, so you can sell a little cannabis, I guess, in Montgomery, or have medical marijuana or something. I haven't figured out the whole marijuana thing. I'm going to try some of that. So there's 2 things I got to do on my next birthday if I live and nothing happen. I got to have me a glass of Hennessy, and I'm going to smoke a doobie. Okay? I'm going to smoke me a doobie if I can stand it. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do that. Okay? I'm going to do that. So y'all just hold that Hennessy for me. Maybe I get my son. You do know I just got done talking to you, right?
I know. I got cut off. Sometimes we got cut off.
No, it was time to get cut off. You was going on for.
You cut me off. You didn't like what I was saying.
No,
That's what. Well, you like what I was saying.
I don't care. I don't care what you say.
See, I don't understand you. Comedian can talk about 50 times that I call one time and say something that makes sense a little bit. Towards your little guest Green. You hang up on me, man. Why you hang up on an intelligent brother like myself, man?
Well, listen, there's nothing wrong with you thinking. There's nothing.
So I want since old Curmudgeon called to talk about education, Curmudgeon, Governor Ivey and her crew runs education.
You got 1 minute, and then we're moving on.
Huh?
You got a minute.
Doesn't the Republican or conservative run this state for everything, Kevin? When the Democrat took over damn education. See, Curmudgeon, I had to educate this cat every week about something different.
We got a Democrat over education.
Democrats don't run a damn thing. They can't call no shot. They can try to call some shots, but who outvote them?
Mackey runs the education system in Alabama. The only thing that a state does is provide the money.
The government runs things. They go make laws saying that school choices and all that stuff.
She's kind of like a Democrat.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They runs all that. Yeah. Who changed the laws and the rules in the state? The damn conservatives and Republicans. Has the school gotten any better, Kevin?
In my mind, no. Not the public school, in my mind.
Oh, no. All that's supposed to fix all this stuff. When they passed the damn bill saying that school choice and all that stuff, this is supposed to fix everything.
Well,
you telling me these kids are still at the damn bottom in the state of Alabama?
Well, and again, we can't blame that on the teachers. We blame that on the power.
Well, let's no. Hell, the ones in charge. Y'all blame Reed for everything goes on in Montgomery. Hell, we got to blame the people who's in charge of the state of Alabama.
Yeah, well, now they say Mackey is a Republican, but I think he governs like a Democrat, in my mind, anyway. I'm
talking about overall who runs the state. Yeah. Republicans, like this stupid law about the gun, toting the gun and stuff. It's Tobin Bill gonna wait a minute. It's Tobin Bill gonna reverse that new law about toting the gun around, Kevin. Reverse that.
That's because it's on the Constitution. You got to get a bunch of people to want to go against what do you call that when you?
Wants to go for bad, like what's called it? Governor Ivey. You know, want to go for bad. Talk about how to see what they are about crime, huh? Letting people tote damn guns around. What's that make?
I hear you. Anyway, minutes up. State of Alabama and county commission are over education in Montgomery. The county commission is not over education. You know this. The county commission, the only thing they do is provide money. They can't call down there to the Board of Education and get nothing done that they want. Okay, so they're not really over it. They fund it, but they're not over. The only people who gives the Board of Education they're running their marching orders is the State Department and the feds. So the county commission is not over education they have no power whatsoever except to give them a check. That's it. Okay, that's it. They can't do nothing else. Because if that were the case, we wouldn't be in the shape that we're in now. Okay, that's not the case. Let's see. Mentioning Tuberville when listen, I've called him, but I've called him a couple of times, and 3 times I went through the process, and he would the people who like McFeeters the other day said, I think he went real fast. Yeah, I know he's indicated that he thought I was a Democrat. Well, because I'm black. And that's the problem. The black folks put themselves in voting Democrat all the time. They get no power because everybody knows what we vote majority. And I just didn't correct them because it didn't make any difference. It didn't make any. Well, there are dummies. What'd you say? There are dummies in the classroom, and the students aren't much better. Well, I'm not going to say that. Every person, at least. Unless our college system is totally gone, every person that is a teacher has at least a baccalaureate degree or whatever degrees you get out of college. I just walked in the door a little bit and didn't really care much about it. But they get a baccalaureate or they get a associate's degree. Every college teacher has a degree in something. Every teacher in school has a degree in something. Okay, so you know they're not dummies, and they're not there just doing what they're not just in there just to be doing, but they're told what to do by the administrators of our education system. Joe, what do you think are our core concerns? Right now, our core concern is education and crime, because they both are tethered together. If you don't get an education, all you can do is crime. And if you do enough crime, your chances of a good education sucks. It's not going to go anyplace. Okay? So I'm just saying, I don't know what you and what are you. I'm an independent moderate. That's what I am. I'm a moderate because I don't think both of them are right or both of them are wrong at the same time. Money is not the issue. Joe, they got a $10 billion education fund. $10 billion. And all the money in the education fund is not used for education. So they not defunding education. They may be doing something else with the money, but they're not defunding education. They got $10 billion slush fund for education. You hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah.
Well, they surely aren't using it. The Republican legislature is steadily underfunding public schools. They're not funding public schools.
Again, they got a $10 billion slush fund for education. So it's not the money.
I don't disagree. I won't argue with that. But what's being done with it?
Well, that's a question that somebody needs to answer.
Well, they're running. Look, they're running it. This is their show. Okay, this is their show. So whatever ills that are in Alabama, you can look. It's a one-party state. Just blame the party. It's easy. That's not whatever your ills are. It's very easy to blame because they're the ones doing it. We're taking public tax dollars and funneling them to religious schools and private schools.
But
that's what we're doing too.
Right,
ain't no buts to that, Kevin. Ain't no buts to that.
But just listen to me. If these people still pay for public schools, even if they do take their kids out, they still pay the taxes that pay for public school.
But Kevin, that's like saying there's a 12-inch knife in your back. And because somebody pulls it out 3 inches, it must be all right, a good day. Look, it doesn't change the fact that they're taking public money and using it for private schools. If you want to go to a private school, right, okay, then go.
So why can't I use my part of the tax money and go to the private school that I want to go to?
Because that's not the way it works. That's why.
But I'm paying
public tax dollars. Well, it doesn't matter. You're paying for a lot of things. I don't use certain roles in this state. That doesn't my tax. I can't say my tax dollars shouldn't go there. I haven't been in West Alabama ever in my life. Okay, or north, right above whatever's above Pickens. I haven't been to Lamar County. I can give you a bunch of counties I've never been to. Does that mean I should say I don't feel like paying for roads that go up there? No, that's just not the way it works. It's a pot. It goes in. You can't piece it off.
So why?
But the fact of the matter is that.
Why should I pay for something that is not serving my child's need?
Well, it's not that it's not serving the child's needs. It's serving the needs. Now, could things be better? Sure, but you can't underfund it. Look, Alabama cares about football.
You're not underfunded. Come on, it's not about money.
Kevin, look, Mountain Brook, look at the millage. Look what Mountain Brook.
The attitude.
Mountain Brook is where it is.
The attitude is different. It's about excellence.
And the money's different too, and the resources are different, and that's undeniable, Kevin. That's simple math.
Do you believe?
Sure.
If our public,
you're changing when I'm right, but go ahead.
No. Do you believe if our public schools were ran the same way that the private schools are ran, we would have an exodus of people leaving them?
I'm not going to say that. I don't think they're necessarily okay at their core run. When I say run, well, I think it depends on what you've got. See, here's the thing: if Kevin, if you put you and I on the Olympic 4x100 team, okay, and the top 2 sprinters, they put you and me. And I'm gonna run 30. You're gonna run the anchor, okay?
Yeah.
We can rest assured we're going nowhere. We're not gonna qualify. Bobsled or anything else with you and me running the third and the anchor. Okay, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're taking the top talent, okay, like when we were at LAMP, I remember when LAMP had, the elite kids, or those were supposed to be. I wasn't there, so that's fine. But I remember when those kids were there. When you start taking off the best of the best of the best, okay, you're going to leave average and even below average folks who are there. That's what happens. Okay. So these schools haven't gotten necessarily worse, and necessarily worse in the sense that, somehow people are not as smart. It's not that. We're just taking the best out of the places. And I think we were better when smart kids were still there with kids who were struggling, because it gave other kids something to aspire to. I know that because I remember kids in my class doing that. That was a long time ago. But if we're going to always separate, I don't know why, for instance, the magnet programs, whatever those courses are right now, can be offered in more schools. I don't know why that can't be. Okay.
Well,
and no one's told me that.
William asked me, he said, what public money at the moment do private schools get?
They got tax vouchers for that. Who asked that question?
William
who?
Green.
God, they got vouchers going now. I mean, they got a tax breaks all over the place. That's easy.
But it's their money.
That's easy. He knows. Kevin says, not what him says. What if I says, should I take my tax dollars, okay, out of the U.S. military? I mean, we can go on. This game can be played for lots of things, okay? We can't take our tax dollars.
The military protects the country.
It ain't protecting me.
Yeah, it does.
How's it protecting me? No, it doesn't.
Have you heard a bomb go off in your neighborhood? Have you?
I should say precisely. That's why I don't need any protection, because one hasn't gone off. Okay, that's why I don't need that.
Wait.
But what if I don't?
There's somebody on the perimeter protecting it to make sure it doesn't.
No one's saying nobody's protecting. This is offensive stuff going on here. No one's doing that.
I'm talking about what's happening in Iran. I'm talking about in general, the military protects your butt while you sleep at night.
Nobody says nobody's coming to Alabama to do anything. Nobody's doing that.
Alabama's not the whole country. Alabama's part
for any foreign country. They are not interested in anything here. So we ain't got to worry about that.
Okay.
People, even terrorist attacks, we don't have to worry about that. So no, I don't want that there. Okay. Do I get to take my tax dollars and go someplace? No, that's not how it works.
That's intellectually dishonest, of course.
That's using your logic. That's not how it works.
Okay.
We put it. It's a pot. We put it. It's a pot. We put it in. But we don't. But look at the millage at Montgomery County. Montgomery's millage is still low compared to where it needs to be.
And it was lower than this 50 years ago, and we still had a.
It surely was, because the legislature wouldn't fund it.
But again, we got a better education. We got a better education in the 1970s than we get in today.
Oh, I can't say that. I'm not gonna. In what respect though?
Yeah.
But how do you make that comparison, Kevin? What do
it's
better? What's the standard?
You can ask the most mundane. I have asked 12th graders going to Lee or whatever it's called now. How many states are there? And what's the capital of the United States? They can't answer it. I said, when does water freeze? They can't answer it. When does water boil? They can't answer it. How many parts of our government are there? They can't answer it.
Well, we got lots of folks in the government who can't answer that question.
Well, they don't need to be there. Okay.
Well,
but again, the people who send their kids to private schools still pay for public schools through their tax dollars on their homes and their
Not if you're getting it back. Not if you're getting it back.
Huh?
I said not if you're getting it back. Not if you're getting it back. When we're paying into this fund, the whole point is to make our government work better for us.
Yeah.
If the legislature and these department heads took education as serious as they take football, in the state.
Well, now you
we wouldn't be having these problems.
And if the teachers could impose the discipline in school and the administration that they can impose in football, we would be the same way.
I won't disagree with you about that. I believe in the Board of Education. I got no problem with that.
Because Sally Ann and Tawana want to go up to the school and raise hell about you disciplining their children because they won't.
Well, lots of people would do that. There were lots of white parents who would have been raised holy hell when black teachers was disciplining white kids. That happens. I mean, everybody does that.
Well, I never did that.
But look, I didn't go crazy. My mama didn't either. I mean, they went crazy on me if I came home and did something stupid.
I helped Mr. Parham spank my child one day at school because he brought an MP3 player wasn't supposed to. And while I was there, a lot of women in there in their bunny robes or whatever that thing they put on their head and all that crap in their house shoes. That's my phone. I paid for that. And so the Parham wouldn't even discipline him because he didn't want to deal with their ragged head mama. But not my son. I said, son, you finna learn a lesson here now. You gonna get this wood whether they get it or not, because you finna learn that just because they don't get it, you gonna get it because I'm your father, and we put the wood on the brother. Right?
Well, listen, I got no issue with that. I'm gonna bring you back because I know you tend to stray. I'm gonna bring you back to this. Alabama needs to simply put more money in it, just like they put more money in that football program. Just like they put more money in Auburn, just like they put more money in Troy and all these places, because our emphasis is different. Our emphasis our priorities are different.
Then that's our fault.
It's the elected leader. So I'm telling you, take your frustration out on those folks holding the offices.
And that's what we're saying now. But when it comes to this stupid redistricting, everybody you know that's a politician in this state is downtown. But they haven't been downtown when we keep complaining about discipline in school and things of that nature. And listen, I got to take one more call. I'm running out of time. So we never hear them on the big issues like education. They don't get downtown, have press conferences about that. But we have a press conference about something because there's political payback when you come downtown and complain about these things that we have nothing to do with. Okay, so that's why. So let them start, and that's why we say when we say that you're not doing much, that's what we mean. You only come downtown and raise hell on where you get some political capital. But if there's no political capital in it for our local legislature, we don't hardly ever hear from them. Okay? And that's just the absolute truth. When is the last time you seen all of them downtown? When's the last time? Except yesterday. And about this voting thing. And most of their constituency don't vote anyway. But it's political capital. You got to cut. You can put something on TV now. Say, I went downtown and I fought for your right to vote. Yeah, take one more call, then I'm be gone. Yellow.
Mayor, I sure wish Mr. Green would run for higher office.
I wish he would too. But you know, the minute they slander his name because he's not a Democrat, and then it's all over.
So well, he sounds a lot like the governor from going to be the governor in Florida. But anyway, one of you callers brought up Virginia, and they changed theirs. The governor lied to the people when she was running. Mm-hmm. She said that she was not going to vote for it. And she also said she wasn't going to raise taxes. First thing she did when she walked in the door, and that's what Democrats do, along with other politicians. I know you're not going to be here tomorrow, and Mother's Day is coming up, and my mom's passed. I know yours has.
Yeah.
But, we wouldn't be here today to talk on this show. You wouldn't be doing your thing, and I wouldn't be calling in if our mothers had taken the abortion route.
Outstanding. Absolutely true. No matter what kind of issues you have, if you weren't here, you couldn't talk about it.
Well, I got a neighbor that they're getting ready to announce on Mother's Day that the daughter's going to have a baby. They're going to do the thing where they're going to make them guess what it is. Mm-hmm. I was just wondering what the abortion people do. When they abort the baby, do they call the family together? And do they pass out black ribbons, or I wonder how they do that when they announce they've had an abortion.
Yeah, I don't think they celebrate it. So
Have a good weekend, Mayor.
Appreciate it. I'm done with the one. We're done. It is not the falling down in our lives that gives us the strength. It is getting up each and every time we fall. And we all fall. So the word of the day is keep getting up. Keep getting up. Have a great weekend. I'll be back Monday if the good Lord says the same. Have a great day. See ya. We redo our shows at 3 o'clock. So if you missed any great parts of this, it'll be rerun at 3. Bye.
Every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight in every shadow, you are my light. Thank you, Lord, for the laughter and tears, for the strength you give in all my fears. In the rhythm of my heart, I hear your call. With grateful songs, I rise above all. Through storms that rage and skies of blue, each day I wake and I choose you. In every heartbeat, in every prayer, thankful for life and the love we share. Thank you, Lord, for the journey we take, for the dreams that soar, and the paths we make. In this symphony of life, I find my place. Thankful forever for your endless grace. In the quiet of the morning light, hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy you make. In the tapestry of life, I see your grace. Every moment filled with your Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight. In every shadow you are my light. Thank you, Lord, for the laughter and tears, for the strength you give in all my fears. In the rhythm of my heart, I hear your call. With grateful songs, I rise above all. Through storms that rage and skies of blue, each day I wake and I choose you. In every heartbeat, in every prayer, thankful for life and the love we share. Thank you, Lord, for the journey we take, for the dreams that soar, and the paths we make. In this symphony of life, I find my place. Thankful forever for your endless in the quiet of the morning light, hands raised high in pure delight, thankful with